Should I buy a McLaren Senna and add it to the collection? Yes, I know the 918 has just arrived, but this car has blown me away. In case you didn't know, this video probably comes out a few weeks after I bought the 918. My friend Kyle let me borrow his McLaren Senna out of the kindness of his heart. I drove it home from Northampton from Silverstone Racetrack, and it was one of the most thrilling experiences of my life. I've had it for about a week now, and every time I look at it, a part of me says, Tommy, why do you not own this car? And that's the question I'm trying to answer today. So let's take the McLaren Senna. Let's take the car for a loss. So let's take the car for a drive. So the McLaren Senna has 800 horsepower and 800 Newton meters of torque. That gives you a sub 2 second 0 to 60 time. The car also weighs nothing, which I'll get to later on, but driving it is a visceral experience. I can imagine the only thing that's more visceral than this would be something like an Aston Martin Valkyrie. I know there's a lot of debate whether this car is a hypercar, but in my personal opinion, and after driving it for the last week, I safely would say it is. For one reason and one reason only. Not because I have to raise my voice to talk, but because if you park this next to an Aventador SVJ, this will steal the show. No one can doubt that this car is amazing. However, there is debate on whether it's a nice looking car. With a name like Senna, I feel like the looks had to be iconic. And they somewhat are. Even if they're controversial or even splitting people down the middle, I find this car a lot better to look at in person than in pictures. The first thing you notice is this massive front overhang that improves aerodynamic downforce. It allows for the car to be sucked down to the road. It's a very race car-esque thing to do. You don't often see it on road cars. You can kind of see hints of the 720S if you come to the side of the car, where it tucks in underneath. As I said, this car uses the same platform as the 720S, as well as the same engine. However, it's just been dialed up. I wouldn't even say to 10, to like 10,000. On the side of the car, you have this wonderful piece of glass that allows you to see your apexes. That's what McLaren said. However, I think it's just there because it looks cool. You have this window where only this portion goes down, which is very race car-esque. You might be thinking they were trying too hard, but that's done because there's nowhere for the glass to go. If you open the door, you can see the door opens upwards. A nice butterfly style door. It's very elegant and it makes getting in a more exciting experience. However, I'm not going to demonstrate it now. Getting in this car is quite difficult, a lot more difficult than I want it to be. Now, compared to the 918, this is significantly more raw, which also comes with a downside, which is it's less usable. There's less opportunities to get this car out on the road because it is quite laborsome to drive. As you can hear, there's a lot of road noise. That's because there's no sound deadening in this car whatsoever. But it just means that the car, you have to kind of be in the mood to drive it. And it's not every day that you want to, well, most days you probably do want to have a V8 screaming behind you, but some days I just want to chill out, I want to relax. The car puts out a maximum of 800 kilograms of downforce. You can kind of tell that by the wing. Alone, this carbon fiber structure, I don't want to know how much this would cost if you broke it, but it is a thing to behold. When this car first came out, it was probably the largest wing ever seen on a road car. Since then, wings have got increasingly larger. Nothing quite as big as this, but where we have the GT3 RS and other similar cars, we're kind of desensitized from wing sizes. I like a big wing. The McLaren curse is that the tanks are tiny. I think this tank is about 65 liters. That means you're filling up every time you drive the car. Once I drove it and it said a full tank would take me 78 miles. 78 miles. So yeah, fuel in the Senna. The car's tank is tiny, so I've come to fuel it up a few times and I haven't driven it that much. And also when you fuel it, you have to hold it to the side because otherwise the fuel gun will hit the paintwork and you don't want that to happen. This car is PPF though. Kyle takes care of his cars, so I'm doing my best to do the same. What's the reason for all this carbon fiber and all this race wizardry? A total weight of 1,138 kilograms. 1,138 kilograms. That's lighter. You know what? I can take two of these, stack them on top of each other, and it'll be lighter than my BMW i7 or a Porsche Panamera Turbo. That's insane. European specs of the McLaren Senna has 3 exhausts, whereas the American cars have 2. It gives you a very exciting exhaust note. Take a listen. So if I was to buy a McLaren Senna, what would it cost me? So before I get into the finance numbers, a quick word from my sponsor. So if you're looking for car finance, you can check out Charles & Dean. They're the company that I used to fund all of our cars. They're very professional, they're very immediate, so they don't take time. They make sure that you get the answers that you need when you need them. And also, they're just a pleasant bunch of people to talk about. I have access to them 24/7, literally 24/7. And they advise me on which cars I should buy, which cars I probably should avoid, and how to get the best rate possible. So if you want a car, check out Charles & Dean. The link is in my bio. So with a 10% deposit at 780,000 over 60 months, the McLaren Senna comes to £6,195.31 per month. So I mean, it's cheaper than a 918. Well, the car is cheaper than 918 Spyder, but obviously it'll be cheaper. I thought it would be more cheaper.
Enough of that, all right? I'm going to expose what it's really like being married to TOMIAUTO. It's not easy. It's very stressful, and I'm going to expose all of it. So come into my channel, click the link above, and I'm going to show you what it's really like. Selling this one. It's not even my car, and I'm selling it. We're selling this one. BMW, it's got to go. We're selling this one. We're selling this one. Urus is going. Porsche's going. This one's going, my wife's car, don't need it, absolute trash. And also, what I wanted to show you is, I'm getting a Kona's egg. I'm about to spec it inside the house.
What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Like I was saying earlier, to get in the McLaren Senna, you just molest underneath the door handle. It pops open. It gives you a good angle of attack if the car didn't have a carbon fiber body seal. So that makes getting in the car less elegant than you want it to be. So I've worked out my technique is kind of just fall in the car and hope no one's watching you. And then I've got long legs, so it's quite difficult for me to navigate. But once I'm in, I feel good. The center seats are nice. However, I would go for the larger size center seats as my shoulders are quite broad, so I don't fit in there really well. But once you're in, and it feels like a race car. You've got your iris display in front of you, no CarPlay, no Android Auto, just focused with radio and variable drift control, which I wouldn't use in this car if I was you. Yeah, should I do it, or should I say should we do it? Because my wife is involved in every decision I make and every car we purchase. So I'm going to speak to her and get her opinion on this car. I think she likes it, but she's not blown away by it. It's kind of a driver's car. I feel like if you're in the passenger seat, you're getting 30% of the experience, and that 30% you're getting is just uncomfortable. Would you agree?
I said buy it.
You say buy? I said buy it, just send it.
Just send it.
And I'm gonna take a look at it. It makes sense. I really want one. I'm not in a rush, because obviously the 918 has just arrived, and that is an absolute monster of a car. But this, if the 918 is a monster, this is Cthulhu, the god of all monsters. The way this car makes me feel after driving it for a few hours, I just need to sit down. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's an overwhelming a lot, but it's in a good sense. You really have to be in the mood to drive this car. Although the mood kind of just comes to you when you just look at it outside, but it's an absolute monster of a car, and I love it. I definitely want one. The numbers seem to make sense. So why not? McLaren Senna coming to the collection. I'm not sure how soon it will come to the collection, but maybe this year, maybe next year. But safe to say, this is probably one of the best and the most exciting cars I've ever driven. If you want it as a daily driver, it's never gonna happen. If you want it as your sole supercar, again, I'm not sure if it's the one for you. But if you want to add something exciting to your collection and you're bored of GT3 RSs, why don't you turn it up a notch, or 17?